It's Book Talk with Tracy. I'm talking about my book, Tempest Tossed, which is book 3 in the Three Strand Cord series. And I have to say, I am really glad I finally wrote this book because, as I explained last time, I wasn't even sure I was going to write it and how it would turn out. But I do love the way that characters tend to take on a life of their own. They like to tell their own story. And so once I got writing this book, it just really came together, and I was really pleased with the outcome. One of the things that is super interesting to me is this whole idea of the diamond smuggling that is part of the intrigue in the book. So like the rest of the books in the series, there is always some kind of, murder and mayhem happening and international espionage, etc. And it seemed to fit well with what had already taken place in the other 2 books. But I wanted it to be something different, and I knew, I don't know where the idea actually sparked in my head, but I thought to myself, I want this to have something other than just drugs, and I wanted it to be diamonds. Now, I happen to have a couple of children who worked at a diamond mine up north in the Northwest Territories. For those who don't know, there's quite a number of diamond mines in northern Canada. They're all fly-in diamond mines, and in the Northwest Territories. So I had a little bit of first-hand knowledge about that, talking to my children and even some of their friends and other acquaintances who have worked at various diamond mines up north. I also spent some time in the north myself. My husband and I have lived in various places north of the 60th parallel, including the Northwest Territories. And so I wanted to bring that aspect into this book, and it just seemed like a perfect way to do it through Anne-Marie, who was introduced in book 2. She's a nurse from Canada, but she was working in an orphanage in Mexico, and that's how we meet her. But through various circumstances, she ends up nursing in the Northwest Territories, and that's where that whole scene takes place, that whole setup. So part of her story is taking place there. Another thing that I did in this book is I tried to be as authentic as possible in some of the other locations. For instance, Yellowknife, which is in the which is in the Northwest Territories, and I visited there a few years ago and was so impressed. It's a very unique place, super cool place, and they really do have this ice festival there where they make a big castle on the lake out of ice. It's like a real castle that you can go in, and there's concerts and various things there during the winter months as part of a festival. So it's kind of cool. Those are some real things that I brought into the book that I thought were kind of cool. Let's see. I think there's some other redemption things different from Blood Ties, which book 2 is mostly about a redemption story coming to know Jesus. So that's that redemption. In this book, all 3 characters already know the Lord. They are already Christians. And so it's a little bit different in that they are working out their faith because reality is, just because you are a Christian doesn't mean that life is perfect or that you're perfect and that you do everything, correctly, if I can say that. Nothing could be farther from the truth. So there's a lot of that working out their faith and coming against obstacles and having to really, their faith, each one of them, their faith is really tested, I think, in this book. Until we, get to the end. And I feel like this book really wraps up the series well. It gives all 3 of the women who start the series a happily ever after that is satisfying and well-rounded, and I think told to to its best conclusion. So I just would really recommend that you read this book along with the others. I love this series. Of course I do. I wrote it. That's a ridiculous thing to say, but in fact, I really do like it. And so there it is, all 3 books in the Three Strand Cord series. And they're available, of course, online at everywhere books are sold, paperback, ebook. You can visit my website and order directly from me if you like to do that. And please, if you've read any of my books and you enjoy them, I do appreciate reviews because that helps me sell more books. So that concludes my discussion about the Three Strand Cord series. And I hope that you're enjoying these short book talks. Please check me out at my website, tracykrause.com. No E in Tracy, 2 S's in Krause. And I will see you again next time where we'll talk more about different books. All right, take care and God bless.